All right, once again, it's time for Off the Top Sportscast. I'm John, and that right there is Roy. Roy, we have a little game here for us today. But first, please like and please subscribe. Roy, tell us our game and introduce our special guest.
Well, our game for today is we are the GMs of the new expansion teams to the NFL. Gary, our special guest, is the Orlando, Florida expansion team of the NFL, and he gets the first pick. John is the second GM for the second expansion team from Austin, Texas. He would be the GM. I would be the GM from the expansion team of Toronto, Canada. These are the rules. As the new GM, you must come up first with your new name for your team. 2, you get picks. 1 wide receiver, 1 quarterback, 1 running back, 1 tight end, and then you get to pick 3 defensive players. Those are the rules. So here we go for the expansion team into the NFL in 2026. GM Gary, love it, for the Orlando Football Expansion League. So Gary, take it away. Give us your just first the name of your expansion team to the Orlando, Florida market.
All right. Thank you for having me first and foremost, Jonathan and Roy. We're looking forward to this chat that we have here. So my Orlando expansion team, I had to think about that for a minute. Let's go with the Orlando Electricity. I know it sounds a little corny, but I didn't want to choose lightning, but we do live in Florida and we get a lot of thunderstorms. Ooh, maybe I can Orlando Thunderstorms. Let's go with that. Orlando Thunderstorm. How about that?
Orlando Thunderstorms. Good one. Yeah. Welcome to the NFL. Orlando Thunderstorms. All right. Now, the second GM for the expansion team coming from Austin, Texas. Jonathan Rosado. What is the name of your team?
So Austin's a funny area, they always say Austin weird, you know what I mean? That's their logo. Keep Austin weird. And when I think of Austin, I think of like independent music scene, comedy scene, kind of more of a hippie laid back vibe, especially for Texas. So I went with the Austin Pachulis because that's what I think of when I think of that kind of hippie vibe, is that patchouli vibe. And it's just a fun word to say, patchouli.
Nice. Your marketing, you will not sell any jerseys.
How dare you, sir?
All right. Now,
my jerseys are going to be tie-dyed and everything.
Nice. So for the number 3 expansion team, GM Roy Rosado, myself speaking for Toronto, Canada, my name is going to be on the helmet. It's going to be TNT, Toronto Towers. Toronto has a big, long tower. It is called the Tower. So it's going to be Toronto Towers. TNT. That's our name of Canada. So now up, we're going to be picking the wide receivers up first.
No. You don't get to tell us what we're picking.
Okay, that's true.
This is a draft. What's the matter with you?
That's true. It's a draft. You can pick anything you want. But the first pick is going to Orlando Thunderstorms. Gary,
I'm interested to see the strategy that everybody plays out here.
Yeah. All right, I'm on the clock, right? So this individual I'm giving thought to. This guy, you just can't deal with him because he is so dynamic. You will argue to say that you've never seen a guy like this. He had a really good strong arm, and he will kill you with his legs. And that will be number 7, the one and only Michael Vick.
Oh, okay.
My number 1 pick.
He's going back in the past.
Okay. Hey, Michael Vick's a great pickup. He was a problem. He would have been the quintessential quarterback in today's game. So,
okay, John. You
For
for
me, I'm going to go ahead and pick up quarterback. I'm going to go big, strong, fast, and I'm going to go with Josh Allen. He's got everything I want. He runs power, he runs fast, he runs for touchdowns. He's got everything. So I'm going Josh Allen is my number one pick.
two quarterbacks off the board.
Yeah.
I'm going running back. I'm
Okay.
going running back in my number one drive. So do I go pure speed? Do I go pure power? Do I go juke ability? There's so many good ones. But I'm
Mhm.
going with the man that showed to have talent. I'm going with the man who really had the speed and the power. He just didn't show it enough. And that is the one and only Bo Jackson.
Oh, nice pick. That's a good pick right there. All right.
So do we go now 3, 2, 1?
Yeah, yeah. So we'll do Snake. So now you get the next pick.
So now I'm going back, picking. I'm going to go with wide receiver. Wide
Mhm.
receiver. And I'm going not the new guy, but I'm going Randy Moss.
Yeah, that's the guy to go for. That's definitely uh he's definitely a beast. So I try to think of this in different ways of how many great guys there are in different positions. Um, and I'm going to go a little bit different here because I'm going to go with the best tight end so that I can get a guy who blocks, a guy who's big in the red zone, a guy who's big in touchdowns. He comes up big in big games, and he had the longevity for my team. So I'm going to go with Gronk.
Mm.
Nice. Very good.
That's pretty stellar right there. All right, so I guess I'm on the clock now. So I gotta give my boy Michael Vick somebody to throw that ball to.
Mhm.
And one guy that comes to my mind, of course, he is a Hall of Famer. He may be a head case, but he will beat you short. He will beat you intermediate. He'll beat you long, and
Yeah,
he's a killer in the red zone. So I am going to go with my man T.O.
yeah. Once you started saying it, I'm like, yeah, yeah. All right, I like that. Michael Vick and T.O. on the same team would be, and we're taking everybody at their prime. You know what I mean? This is going to be their prime work, and then we'll see what our teams look like at the end. So now you got the snake, so that you got back-to-back picks. So far you got Michael Vick, you got T.O. Who's your next pick?
All right, and in today's game, unfortunately, the running back is not as valued as much, but we value running backs over here, right? So this man right here, he is a problem. And if you pair him with the likes of a Michael Vick, a T.O., you're gonna have cause a lot of problems. And this man, you couldn't bring him down. He'll shake you out your shoes, your socks, and your drawers. And that's the one and only Barry Sanders, number 20.
I like that. I like that a lot. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pivot again because if I'm gonna build my team, I want to stop people and I want to stop them dead in their tracks. So I'm gonna go with the best pass rusher I think for me that I've ever seen. The whirling tornado. This man could not be stopped. I'm gonna go with Bruce Smith.
Love.
Bruce.
Bruce, one of my favorite guys, man. Awesome.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. Very interesting here. Been thinking about it. Been doing a lot of thinking, but I'm gonna go also defensive this time. And I was saying, well, who do I go with? I'm gonna go with somebody new. I'm gonna go with Myles Garrett.
Ooh, Mm-hmm. $40 million.
And now I go again.
Yep.
So I'm going back defense. I don't
Mhm.
want to give players a chance. And I want them to always be the quarterback on their back. So we got Garrett, an edge rusher. And I'm
Mhm.
gonna go with somebody who's fairly young, who again's got some they when the players talk about this guy, they say he's always on. He's
Hmm.
always got energy. Maybe on an underrated team. And if he was on another team, maybe he had even more kind of just people could see him more. I'm going with Max Crosby.
Oh, Mad Max. Now you know Gary's a Raider fan. You dirty, dirty, rotten
Yeah,
scoundrel.
dirty, but man after my heart. Mad Max. Okay, I like that. I like that. All right.
Well,
Oh, it's not
no,
my.
yeah, I'm in the middle. I'm sandwiched in the middle.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm gonna do. Right? I went Bruce, and I'm feeling it. I think I want to pressure from the outside. I want to pressure from the inside. And Roy, I'm a godly man. So I'm going to go ahead and get the Minister of Defense, Reggie White, in the middle next to Bruce Smith. And I don't need anything. I know I have another defensive guy coming. I don't think he needs to play because with those two guys, you've got point 0.9 seconds to throw the ball, and you better not try to run it.
I feel the same way. I got both edge closing in on you.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, I'm going defense too. And this man right here will go down in history as the most terrifying defensive end outside linebacker known to mankind. But he played the game the way they was supposed to, with
Yeah.
aggression. I'm going with the number 56, LT, Lawrence Taylor.
That's a great pick.
Nice pick.
Because if you would have allowed me to get Bruce Smith, Reggie White, and LT,
It's over.
I mean, I mean that would have been ridiculous. Okay,
It's on the snake, right? I'm up again.
that's
All right.
right.
I'm gonna need somebody on the back end to lock down the receivers, whoever you guys pick. And of course, in the media recently, there's been talk between Asante Samuels and this other individual that I am going to pick. The one and only Deion Sanders, lockdown cornerback. Beat you on the defense, and he's gonna beat you on special teams. You got a lot to deal with.
I wanted him.
Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and close the loop on my defense, and I am agonizing right now on what position to put in here, right? But I think you're right. I've got all that pass rush up front. I need somebody to lock down the back, right? Not only do I want somebody who locks down the back, I want somebody who, once they get the balls in the air, uh, is going to go get it, right? So there's a lot of cornerbacks out there, but I want one who won a Heisman. That's who I want. So now you know what's really crazy is I keep on thinking Rod Woodson, but it's not Rod Woodson. It's
Charles.
Charles Woodson.
E-Dub.
Charles Woodson. That's who I'm going with because I want that playmaking ability once he intercepts the ball as well, you know? So
Not bad, not bad. I am going to close off my defense, and
mhm.
and I have a little bit of a dilemma of who I was thinking of.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking of, do I go with a linebacker,
Yes, that's yeah.
who will plug up the hole? You got two ends, and then you got this big old linebacker,
Mhm.
that you say, just put the pounding on. And the
Mhm.
one who's done it better than anybody else, who comes out stomping, is Ray Lewis.
I, I, I will tell you right now, that is the guy who I was thinking about going with. He was my dilemma uh, because he brings all the juice. You know what I mean?
I'm taking the, and this one's a little bit dilemma, but I'm going tight end.
Mhm.
And there is a tight end who I think is going to be great. He's young, but he hasn't shown really much. He has no lineage yet. Then I can go with some tight ends that have shown, some pass, and even some tight ends that now, but I think I'm gonna go. This was a little bit of a hard one, but I enjoyed him as a tight end, and really didn't start his career as a tight end. He was a wide receiver, and I'm gonna go with Shannon Sharp
Oh,
as a tight end.
I like Shannon Sharp, man. He's the modern tight end. I mean, you know, people, younger people won't know what the size of the tight ends were at the time, and that they were basically offensive linemen who could catch a little. They weren't this big threat, and Shannon Sharp really changed the game for tight ends. That's a good pick. There were so many guys out there, you know.
You got
Um,
Gonzalez. You got even the new guys now.
yeah, Tony's the one, man. Yeah, he was a problem. Um, so I'm going to go wide receiver here. So many wide receivers I can say. Of course, I can say Jerry Rice, right? Of course, I can say that.
Mhm.
But I am going for overwhelming strength and power. And when my guys get off the bus, I want to win the t-shirt battle as well. I want to win the battle that you go, when these guys get off the bus, everybody else wants to get back on their bus. So I'm going to go with Calvin Johnson as my wide receiver.
Nice.
Can you imagine the moonshots being thrown by Josh Allen and the jump balls to Calvin Johnson with Gronkowski on the field?
That's a
That's a
nasty
problem.
team. That's a nasty team.
Dang, that's pretty good.
So you get to finish up your team because you go now and then again. So what do you have left to pick?
So I have another defensive player, and then tight end.
Okay.
So now I'm looking at you guys' team. You guys have a strong defensive line. I mean, the quarterback's not going to have time to throw the ball. And so I'm thinking, man, do I add a linebacker, somebody in the middle that's an enforcer, or do I come with a safety, someone who's all over the place to come down and lay the wood?
Mm-hmm.
I go another defensive end. So I was thinking about it. I said, I want to give my guy Dion a little help on the back end. And so this individual right here, every time he flew around the ball, all you see was his hair. He had a great head of hair. And this man, he's all over the
Fantastic.
place. He go make the play. He'll hit you in the background for tackles for loss. He was just a missile coming off of that defensive line. And that is the one and only Troy Polamalu. I'm
Love
going to
it.
have him on the back end.
I think Troy Polamalu, for me, is one of the most instinctual players I've ever seen. He is Ray Lewis, but at safety instead of a linebacker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. And now I will go ahead and finish my offense with tight end. So I was like, man, there's a lot of different tight ends. And the one guy that really sticks out to me, even though I hate this team to the core of my being, playing for the Kansas City Chiefs. He has a long career, great hands. He is a complete beast in the end zone, and that's Mr. Gonzalez.
Oh, Tony G.
Yep.
Hey, I love Gonzalez.
Yeah, he was good. Can't beat that.
I mean, 6'10", built like a brick house. What are you gonna do with that? at any era that
He was a
wins.
problem, man. Yeah, he was a problem.
So my last one is running back. And it's the first name I put on my page. And I knew that nobody was going to think of this guy. So this guy was the first guy I wrote down on my paper. There was a lot of people, there's a lot of running backs that have been good throughout the decades. So it was really, I wanted somebody that I thought had a little bit of everything. I wanted him to be big. I wanted him to be strong. I wanted him to have that escapability. I wanted him to be able to be a threat, a home run hit the whole time. And for some reason, I said, these guys are not going to think of this guy. And that is Adrian Peterson.
AP.
And in his prime,
He was great.
I mean, he was a beast. He was just a straight up fantasy monster. He was a home run. I mean, he's one of those guys that if he was already a huge star. If he wasn't in Minnesota in that era of Minnesota, I mean, imagine if he was somewhere like LA or Dallas or something like that. He would never be forgotten.
Yeah, I agree. I think, you when it comes to running backs, the guy was a beast at one point. Great. So your team is up.
Yes.
The only thing I have left is a quarterback. And there's a ton of good quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Some may say Manning, Brady. I personally, though, if I pick a quarterback, I'm not too much into picking a pocket quarterback. It's not my kind of quarterback. I need a quarterback with legs. So I was waffling. Do I go with Lamar? Great. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
But I said, there's a lot of quarterbacks that were out there who came before him who had some legs.
Mm-hmm.
And probably the one that I pick that when you look at his statistics, this guy was 6-time NFL leading passing leader, 4-time NFL passing touchdown leader, 7 Pro Bowls, 3 first-time all pros, 2 NFL most valuable player, 3-time Super Bowl champion. And I'm going with Steve Young.
Oh, Steve
Young.
Nice.
That is my quarterback.
I like Steve Young. So, Roy, go ahead and run down the list from quarterback to wide receiver real quick.
So, my team is quarterback, Steve Young, running back, Bo Jackson, wide receiver, Randy Moss, tight end, Shannon Sharp, defensive player, Myles Garrett, Max Crosby, Ray Lewis.
Right. And go ahead and tell us your Orlando expansion team's roster real quick.
Right. At QB, we have Michael Vick. Running back, Barry Sanders. Wide receiver, Terrell Owens. Tight end, Tony Gonzalez. And on defense, we have Lawrence Taylor at defensive end, Deion Sanders as a cornerback, and Troy Polamalu at safety.
Wow. That's a squad.
The only thing I can see with your team, if I can get, I may not be able, I have to be careful throwing the ball because you got Deion Polamalu. He's hovering.
Yeah.
I just got to get past your front. I got to run.
Yeah, you're going to have to run the ball. So I've got Josh Allen. I got AP, Adrian Peterson is my running back, Calvin Johnson, Gronkowski, Bruce Smith, Reggie White, and Charles Woodson. So I like our teams. I'm going to go ahead and write them out and put them up. And I might do even a poll out there to see what people think of the teams and what people they like the best. And maybe we'll reconvene and discuss how our poll went. Now, let me ask you guys a question. What was the hardest position that you were like, man, there's a guy who I love and I would love to put on this list, but you just didn't? Was that like honorable mention guy?
My honorable mention was when I was with Ray Lewis. I really wanted Ray Lewis. But then another person that I loved how he played, was Ronnie Lott.
Oh my God, that's my guy. That's the guy I have written down here right now.
Ronnie Lott.
Yes, yes. You know, that's so funny. Dang it, dang it, man. You took my answer. There's no way I thought anybody was thinking about Ronnie Lott.
Ronnie Lott was a beast, man. And tell you the truth, as a free safety, someone who played for Tampa Bay, Lynch, he played a good safety out there. He played, man, if you look at some film, that guy popped some guys like crazy.
Oh yeah.
Ronnie Lott was fast. Ronnie Lott was just a really good player. He was great, smooth.
Man, that's so funny you said that, bro. I have Ronnie Lott written down on this paper right now because my thought process was, well, yeah, your guys will be able to catch the ball once. because Ronnie's coming and he's trying to put somebody out of the game.
Yeah, he did. Kill you.
So there was another guy who I was thinking of also, and it was Darrelle Revis, right?
Yeah.
Because he's such a lockdown corner. But my thing was Darrelle batted down a lot of balls, but he didn't intercept a lot of balls. He wasn't a ball hawk like Woodson, and that's why I went with Woodson, because I wanted somebody, with that return it to the house ability.
Yeah.
Tell you what, Reeves did have that, but he also had that persona, man. I was listening to what you guys were saying, man, and the honorable mentions, and you're right, Jonathan. We didn't pick Brady, and I was kind of vacillating back and forth. I guess I was having an issue with the running back, and I really, I was thinking about Jerome Bettis, man, the bus. Someone, man, who broke a lot of tackles. For a guy his size, he did have a lot of breakaway runs. And I just love the way that he played. I thought he was like more of a modern day. He was the closest thing that you was going to get to Earl Campbell back in the day, where he was just almost impossible to bring down. And he really wore down defenses at the end of the game. I was thinking him. And then on the defensive side, I was thinking the defensive end and this individual right here. I don't know if I've ever seen somebody that come off the line of scrimmage like him and spins, do that spin move all the time. That was Dwight Freeney from the Colts.
Yeah.
Oh man, he had a crazy run in his prime, and he was almost impossible to block. So I kind of was vacillated, but those were my honorable mentions there.
What's funny about those Colts teams is I think the star of Peyton Manning in that day, his light was so bright that we don't remember the talent on that team. We don't remember the Edgerrin James, how good Edgerrin James was. We don't remember Dwight Freeney and Mathis. We don't remember how good Wayne was, Reggie Wayne, the wide receiver Reggie Wayne was. So it's something about those Colts teams. I'm not quite sure why, because we kind of remember a lot of the people on the Patriots at that same time, but it's almost like Manning's, stardom was so white hot at the time that when we think of the Colts and those runs, we only think of Peyton Manning. But really, in reality, they had a lot of really, really good, talented guys on that team. I say, I'm going to give you a chance to steal a guy from another guy, a guy you just didn't think of. Who would you go with?
From one of us, or are you talking about somebody else?
Yeah, from one of us. From one of us.
And everybody's good, but maybe I would steal. I like Shannon Sharp, but I probably would go with stealing one of yours tight ends.
So either Gronk or Gonzalez.
Yeah, and man, I'm gonna go. Both of them are good. I think I'm gonna go with Gonzalez.
Hmm.
Think he was a little bit more of a blocking tight end that would just take a little longer on the line to come out, and then he was so stinking big. So I would steal Gonzalez.
All right. I was thinking about it, and I love Calvin Johnson, but I would steal Randy Moss. I think.
Mm.
I think I would steal Randy Moss. And if you hadn't said T.O., if T.O. would have been there when I was picking wide receivers, I would have picked T.O. as well. Because T.O. is a very well-rounded back, a wide receiver. So I think that even though Calvin's good, I think you guys have, T.O. and Randy Moss are better than Calvin Johnson.
When I picked Randy Moss, man, I don't think anybody was going to stop that guy. You pick
Yeah.
man, tall, long, he's just going wrong. He's just running. Just throw the ball. Just throw the ball.
Yeah, you never find another guy like that. I know for myself, hands down, Jonathan, I'm taking Reggie White. If I can steal Reggie White, man, that guy, he was such a joy to watch, man. And man, he was very intense. And then he had the sack record before Strahan had got it, I believe, if
The
I'm
single
correct.
season,
The single season sack record. And he wouldn't have got that if it wasn't given to him. But that's neither here nor there. And then from Roy, you had to take my guy, man. You had to take my guy, Bo Jackson. And yeah, he was a joy to watch too, man. I wish he would have never played two sports, but only few people did that. Baseball, football. His career was short lived, but man, how electrifying he was.
all right, guys. I like our team. I like my tie-dye jerseys in Patchouliville over there, the Patchouli experience, as we like to call it, over here in Austin. And I want to go ahead and put these up, and I'm going to put a poll up and see what team people's like the most. And please, guys, go ahead and go down and comment and tell us who your team would be, and whose team you think would win. If we had a little round robin tournament, I might even put this in the old AI generator and see what pumps out, and we'll get back together and review that. Appreciate you coming on today with us and being our special guest. You got me hungry for some pumpkin pie now. So we will, do this again. I know last time we saw you was before the season. We were talking about the Raiders, and we'll have to do that again this off season. All right.
Appreciate you having me, and we'll see you on the next one.
All right, Roy. Tell the people what we want them to do.
As always, talk to a stranger about sports today.